Yes, good morning, everyone. I hope you are able to hear me and you are able to watch my screen. Whatever demo we had yesterday, I already uploaded in the YouTube channel. Here is our demo session. If someone has missed previous demo, you can go through this here. Okay. So today I'm going to do a practical assignment. So once you join in the project, now your project manager is asking, can you create one employee? You have to create one employee and you have to make employee as buyer. You have to make that employee as a buyer, and then you have to create user account for that employee, and you want to create purchase order. You would like to go for create purchase order. What is meant by purchase order? Generally, the organizations, whenever they want to purchase the goods, they'll raise the purchase order and send it to supplier. For example, if I want to buy a laptop, generally what I do, I go for shopping. I refer 4-5 shops and get the information from them and find out the best quotation, best price, discount, service, brand, delivery, and then I'll buy it. That is individual, but companies will not do like that because companies required complete procedure. They need a complete process. Okay, to whom you have contacted, what they given the quote, and why you purchased from them, and why you selected this date and this much of quantity, why you are okay with this discount. This all information needs to be tracked. That's what we call it as a procurement process. In that, purchase order is one of the document. So right now what I want to do is I wanted to create the purchase order. So this is a functional part from the front end. So we need to connect to the server. So I'm going to open the remote desktop first here. So Oracle applications software we cannot install in our local machine. It's not possible. It takes 6-7 hours time for installation. That's why we always connect to the remote desktop. There is a separate company who will provide the access to this. It's like a tenant. It's like a tenant. So once you enroll for the batch, we will give you that details and how to do that. So we have to just log into the product. This is what Oracle applications product. So client will buy this software. You work for any client across the world, same software. You will see the same software, but you will find different data, different setups, different reports as per the client's requirement. Okay. So first I am going to log in as an operations user. Operations is the first user here. So what are the tasks you want to do? Let me copy this all assignment steps into my remote desktop because I don't want to navigate every time into this. Let me open Notepad++. So I'm trying to create an employee. Here it is. Let me log in. So first I will open any one of the responsibility. What is mean by responsibility? Responsibility is nothing but a menu having some forms. Right now, I want to create employee. So if you want to create an employee, what you have to do? You have to go to HRMS, Human Resource Management. Here we are going to create employees. Here we are going to create employees. People, nothing but employees. Enter and maintain. Enter means create. Maintain means update or refer or delete existing records, existing employees. I'm trying to create new record. So let me enter the employee details here, new employee. I'm entering new employee name is Paramesh Kumar. And I would like to go with employment here. Would like to have an employment here. And date of birth is sufficient. A lot of other fields we have here to capture about the employee, but I don't want to take all the fields are mandatory. It's all are optional, not mandatory. Employment details, office information, background verification, rehiring process, medical information, employee benefits, employee photo, address, assignment. These all are general information. I'm not going to enter that. Social security number is like Aadhaar card, Aadhaar number in India. US, it is a social security number. It's okay. We have not entered. It's not error. It's a just warning message. This is how we will create an employee. So what is the employee number? 2454. 2454 is the employee number. Okay. Now we created employee, and what is the employee name? Parmesh. Obviously, every employee required one username and password, right? So that they can log in. For example, you joined in some company. When you join in company, what happened? You will provide all your details. After that, the HR department or admin department will allocate you one system, and they'll tell you this is what your username and this is what your password, and you have to log in and start working, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to configure user account for Mr. Mahesh. Where do I do this user account? System administrator. System administrator is the responsibility where we perform all our admin setups. When we are working in the real time, maximum will be working here only. This is like an admin part. Okay. Right now, what is my task? Already, I have an employee. I want to create a user account for my employee here. So I'm mentioning the username as Paramesh. Password is, let me enter password. I'm entering Chandra. Okay. 2 times we have to enter password. Here we have to specify the employee name. Person is nothing but employee name, Paramesh. Two 454 is employee number. Why we are not getting this employee name here?
So Pyramis, as you mentioned.
Oh, okay. A is missing, is it? This is 2454 employee number. I think I given wrong. P. Ramesh. Okay. So username I'm going to specify as Paramesh. This is employee name. We can configure the user accounts for company customers. You can configure user accounts for company suppliers also. Why we required for customers and suppliers? Okay, employees are working for our company. So obviously every day they come to office and start working. So we have to provide username and password for them. That's fine. But why do we need to give user account for the customers? So it's very common requirement setting up the user account for the customers, because for example, we are already doing online shopping, right? For example, you go to Amazon or Flipkart, and first you create your own user account and start selecting the items quantity, and then we go for give the order, right? First you should become an user. If you are not any, we are customers for Amazon website, Amazon company. We are customers for Amazon company, but still we are going to have a user account. We are not having any employment relation with the company, but still we are going to have the user account, right? So that's what we required. When the organizations wants to have the user accounts for their customers and suppliers also, we will be providing here. So I have created username here. Now Paramesh wants to create purchase order. So I'll give the responsibility is purchasing. for which country is working, Netherlands or Germany or France or Sweden or UK. Client will ask you all the details. I'm creating for US. I'm creating for US. Now, Paramesh is one of the employee. And for that Paramesh employee, we created a user account also, right? We created user account. And then we added the responsibility. Responsibility is nothing but a permission. See, Oracle applications product has got all the features, but I don't want to give the access to all the features to my employee. Let's say when employee joined, he says that I'm going to join as a clerk. What is clerk responsibility? Day-to-day accounts maintenance. So we need to give the access to accounts responsibility. For example, when HR recruiter joined in the company, his responsibility is recruitment process. He has to recruit the employees and manage that profiles information, schedule the interviews, take the feedback, and the recruitment onboarding process, right? HR operations that we will go for asset. So responsibility is nothing but access to the application, access to ERP application. ERP application has got all the features, but out of that, whatever access you want to give it to for employee, that we will provide here. Okay, so that's how we are going to give. So the username is Paramesh, and we are giving the access to purchasing responsibility. Now Paramesh can perform the purchasing activities. But if you want to create purchase order, you must be a buyer. So what is buyer? Buyer is nothing but an employee who will buy the goods or services from the suppliers. For example, there is a company. If I want to buy the material, I'll communicate with the salesperson, right? Sales representative or sales manager or sales executive, right? I'll go to sales department, I'll communicate. For example, I purchased some materials and I got the bill, but there is a problem in the bill. What I'll do, I'll take the bill and I go to finance department. I talk with cashier or clerk, right? Same way, finance department is there, sales department is there. There is a procurement department also for every company. So people who are working in procurement department, we'll call them as buyers, procurement agents, procurement managers, like that. Right, like how we call it as salespeople from sales department, cashier, clerk, manager from finance department. Same way, from purchasing department, we'll call them as buyers and procurement managers. Right. So now I want to make this Paramesh is a buyer. Otherwise, he cannot create purchase order. So that's what I'm going to do it now. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's make him as a buyer. Go to purchasing responsibility. Here only we make the employee as a buyer. Employee as buyer. Go to setup, personal, buyers. Excuse me. So I'm going to make this employee as a buyer. Just go to add buyer and specify the name of employee. Employee name. Which category items he can buy it. You can restrict saying that this buyer means this employee can buy only this category items. And you can also restrict he can buy the goods only for this location, not for other locations. And you can also set up that he will be a buyer for 1 month. After that, may not be. So what I do is I'll go to May 19th will be the last date as buyer. If you required, you can make it as end date. After 1 month, Paramesh may not be able to work as a buyer. So the moment he log in, system will show you, you are no longer buyer, so you can't create PO. Like that, you can restrict. So this is buyer setup we have performed. Your changes has been saved successfully. Confirmation also we got. And we can see here buyer. In future, you want to search buyer and you want to make some changes, you can do it like this. Excuse me. So this is how we do the buyer setup. Now we want to create a purchase order. So we would like to go for create purchase order. Let me log out from the current user. You can exit from the software. Who is logged in right now? I think some operations user. Just exit from here. Log out. Paramesh. Very first time, it will ask you to change the password because Paramesh joined in the company and admin people told to Paramesh that this is your username and this is your password. It means admin people knows that password because they manually they set the password, right? It's not automatically generated, manually told by the admin people. So now Paramesh should change the password immediately because admin people knows already password. So enter current password and enter the new password here. Re-enter new password. Now I can see right side Paramesh is logged into the application. And I given permission to Paramesh only purchasing. I have not given any other permissions. In purchasing, everything you can do. Again, in purchasing also, you want to restrict specific applications. Yeah, we can do that. That is a customization. We'll be discussing that later. Right now, we given the access to purchasing. Now, this is the form where we can create the purchase orders. Okay. So automatically, system taken the name, Parmesh, and is going to say that I am working for so-and-so branch. Operating unit is nothing but a branch. And I'm trying to purchase the material from so-and-so supplier, Dell Computers, supplier site, who is the contact person, where the supplier should deliver the material, where the supplier should send the bill. Because whenever we are purchasing the material, we may be having a requirement. The material should go to our godown, ship to location. But bill, they have to send it to our main office. So that will clear in the main office. That's what ship to location and bill to location, right? And maybe we can have both are same. Okay. And this is buyer and currency status total. If you need additional fields to the client, we can add here. This is our job. We do that later. And what are the items you are going to enter here? So this item names we have to configure. This is seeded data. Seeded data means for testing purpose, Oracle has given this data. Okay, supplier names, locations and all. When you are working in the project, we don't find this item name. Inventory functional consultant will configure these items. What are the items? Like how we configured just now employee, the same way he will go for configure. Showing error message, enter positive value, quantity should be positive. And this is price. Promise date when the material needs to be delivered. Need by date when the materials are required. Okay. So all this quantity, whatever quantity we are giving the order, all this quantity in the same location or different locations. For example, I have 2-3 godowns. I don't want all these goods in the same location. I need 2 items in the first godown, means inventory, 3 items in second inventory, then remaining 2 items in another inventory. So that's what we mention in shipments. So shipment is basically where supplier has to ship the goods, exactly which location and which inventory they are supposed to deliver. Based on the location, dates, timings also might be different. Maybe supplier is nearer to our warehouse, their branch. So they can commit early delivery for this location. Okay. And then distributions are nothing but a calculations. When the organizations are going to put some expenditure, obviously they have to calculate the expenditure. It came for which branch, which department, for which purpose. Because end of the year, millions of transactions, like yesterday we have discussed, right? Heritage Corporation, and per day some expenditures and income transactions and all. So it's very difficult for us. So our distributions are nothing but distribute your expenditure to the different departments. Otherwise, let's say I have 40 branches, around 5,000 employees are working every day, some 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs expenditure I'm getting. I don't know end of the year or end of the quarter where exactly this money is going. Okay, so I need an idea. Okay, in this area I'm getting this much of expenditure. So based on that, I can take a business decisions, right? That's the reason distributions are required for every expenditure as well as for every expense. Sales means income. Both expenditure as well as income required accounting. That's what we call it as the distributions. This is how we will create a purchase order. Now purchase order created successfully here. This is PO number, header information, and line information, shipment. If the organizations wants to give multiple lines order, they can give. Yes, 5-4. Employee cannot enter new item here. Whatever the items we given the permission, only those items can be selected from the list. Save. This is how the purchase order will be created. And you can, if you are buying the material from other country, you can specify the currency conversion rate. And if you are going to have some terms and conditions with the supplier, you can have payment terms, freight, carrier, FOB. And if you want to give any note to the supplier, note to the receiver, this all information will be created. So these are the setups we have done right now. So is clear, everybody? Any doubts here, please? Are you able to understand this? This is actually functional work. This is functional work, what we have done. Are you able to understand? Did you find any difficulty here? 4 setups we have done today. Employee setup, user account, then buyer setup, then purchase order creation. Yeah.
So usually the DBA team will create an employee and user details, or
Yeah,
right?
user DBA only will do that, user account.
Okay.
But we also should know that.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And the one you showed, like create a buyer, a employee, like that form you showed. So that is a standard form. So that form we can do the customization.
Yes. That is
Oh,
what we are supposed to do that.
yeah. Are we going to learn that how to do customization that form, or not
Is in
required?
our training we are going to do. That is what way of personalizations and customizations.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
When guys, this is functional. So I hope everybody is able to understand. So if you are able to understand this, then it can be done. It is. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Next. Now we come to the technical work. Now we are coming to the technical work. So whatever the data we entered here from the front end, we are just going to log in and we are creating purchase orders. Okay. And we are creating the, so let me create another purchase order. So 2 purchase orders I have created here like this. So now whatever the data we are entering here, and then we are going to save it. What happened? System will save this information. This is front end. We discussed yesterday, when you are working in IT industry, whenever you are working in IT industry, definitely there will be applications. There will be a softwares, right? That's what we call it as application or software or package, SAP application, Salesforce application. Okay. and then Workday application, Microsoft applications, Oracle applications like that. So when you say application, there will be a front end and there will be a back end. Front end means forms where you are going to do the data entry. Front end means forms where you are going to do the data entry, forms and reports. Right now, what we have done is that we opened the form, we entered the data. Where this information will be saved in the back end, in the database tables. In the database tables, these tables will have the information. Whatever we entered in the front end, this table stores these details. PO header all, PO lines all, PO shipments like that. For entire codes and Oracle applications, around 40 tables we will come to. Around 40 tables we see. PO tables, sales order tables, employee tables, supplier tables, customer tables, invoice tables, accounts tables, like that. 40 tables will. You work for any client, same tables, because every client will buy the same software and install in their servers and start working here. Okay, so this information, whatever we entered in the front end, it's going to be saved in the back end database tables, stored in the back end database tables. So as a technical consultant, our responsibility is which table this information is stored, how to join those tables. That is important. Okay, that is important. So this is front end we have connected. I'm going to show you how to connect to the database backend. There are different tools. You can use different tools to connect to the database. Front end, if you want to connect, we will use the browser like Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Mozilla application. These all are browsers, right? So like how we will connect to the Gmail or how we will connect to the Amazon website or anything. That's what we call it as a front end. We are going to log in and enter the data, delete the data, update the data. Whatever operations we are doing in the front end, it stores in the back end database tables, right? So if you want to connect to the database, we use different tools. Toad is there, SQL Developer is there, SQL Plus we have. We have SQL Plus, but any tool is same. Finally, you are connecting to the database. Like how, whether you use Internet Explorer, you have to enter URL. Whether you use Google Chrome, you have to enter URL. Even if you use Mozilla application also, you have to enter the URL and same form it will be opened. Just to look and feel might be different, right? Environment. Same thing for database also, you can use any one of this tool, SQL Developer or Toad or SQL Plus. Okay, now I am using the Toad and connecting to the database. When you try to connect to the front end, here, you given the username password, right? This is front end, application access. Application access. Same thing for back end also, it will ask you the username and password. You have to give the username and password. Let me close this session and connect again. So I'm going to end all the connections. And I'm going to give this new connection. Username is apps, password is apps. Yeah, like this we give the credentials. There will be two types of credentials. One is front-end application access, another one is back-end database access. Here I can see the data. Select star from which table you have the information, PO headers all. PO headers all. Control enter. If you press control enter, then query will be executed. So you are selecting the data from table. Okay. So this table contains the purchase orders. This table contains the purchase order. I wanted to know the purchase orders which are created recently. Recently, whatever the purchase orders are created, I want to know it. So we'll write a query. Order by creation date. Descending order. If you go with ascending order, what happens? System will show you the previous records in ascending order, but I wanted to go with the descending order. I would like to go with the descending order. So what happened? So we will go for order by clause, order by creation date in the descending order. That's what I'm going to do it. Control Enter. Now I can see that the POs are created. 6801 PO number 6802 created today 19th April 2025. 19th April 2025. Two purchase orders are created. Created by who? Who has created this? It is created by the user called so-and-so user. We'll see this is your creation date. We'll see the creation by. This is the date created and created by so-and-so user. But I have user ID here. System is telling this purchase order is created by 1015904 user. But that is user ID. But my client is asking, I want username. Who is that fellow who has created this PO that I want? So what I'll do, I must know which table this user information is there. FND user, where user ID equal to 1015904. It's immediately showing Paramesh. As I said, 40 tables we will get. Out of 42 we have learned just now. One is purchase order table we have learned. Another one is user table we have learned. Right. So we got this. Are you able to understand these two transactions? I have tracked from the back end. Client has given that task me front end. I'm not giving the access. I give the access to the back end. Just try to find out what are the POs created, last two POs recently, and then get it here. And I need who has created this. Who has created this? I just wanted to know. That's what. So this is how I will get. Here the complexity is you have to know which table this information stores. Which table this information stores. Where can I find the PO data? Where can I find users data? Where can find suppliers information? Right. So if you remember that 40 tables, as I said, 40 tables, then you can start working in the project. Okay. So whenever we are working in the project, it's not a problem. See, when you want to know which table users information is there, what I'll do, I can find very easily from the front end. Let me show you. Okay. Operations password is different. Let's open any one of the responsibility. Go to system administrator. Go to users. Search for your username. I want to know which table this information stores. So go to help menu, recordist. It is showing clearly FND underscore user is the table name which stores the user details. That's what I have done it here. So I went to the Toad database tool. I have queried the data. So when you are working in the project, Identifying the table is not a problem. But when you go for an interview and saying that last 4 years I'm working in Oracle applications as technical consultant, I did this reports, I written these queries, I written these programs. Tell me supplier tables, how will you join? Tell me how will you find for a particular supplier, what are the POs are created? Tell me, I'll give you a supplier number. I want to know how much invoice amount is pending for this supplier. Or in the last 3 months, I have paid to my suppliers. I want to know for which supplier I have paid additional amount. Additional means like maybe extra amount, whatever, highest amount we have paid. So this questions they'll ask. Right. So that's why this 40 tables, whatever I said, that must be on our fingertips. Out of 40, already we discussed two, supplier user table as well as purchase order table. This, yeah, it's clear everybody. So back end work is our technical consultant. Front end work is functional consultant. So functional consultant is doing all these setups, whatever I written here, right? Create employee, create a user account, create purchase order. This all setups will be done by the functional people. And as a technical person, we are supposed to identify which table this information is stored, how to link those tables, how to write queries and programs for this. This all will do it from the backend. This, yeah. Are you able to understand what exactly the role and responsibility of technical consultant and functional consultant?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to write a simple program here, PLSQL program. This is a just query. When you are writing PLSQL programs, obviously, we will try to, we'll try to find out queries also. Now my client is telling me that I'll pass the input parameter. I'll pass the input parameter as user ID. I'll be passing user ID as input parameter. Then we have to find the total number of purchase orders and then display those POs. We have to display those PO details. So I'm going to write a simple program. So whenever we are working in Oracle PLSQL, just 1 minute, guys. So I want to write simple PLSQL program here. So what's the purpose of this program? Take input my user ID, and it has to find out how many POs are there. And already we have seen this table stores the PO data, right? So I just wanted to know how many POs are stored here. And we have to find out that total number of purchase orders and display that number, total count. I wanted to show the count. That's a simple PO. So when you are writing any program, create or replace, open the notepad, create or replace procedure, nothing but a program. I'm writing a program here. So total purchase orders, it takes input parameter is user ID. So I'm passing one input parameter here in number data type, because user ID is number, right? So why I'm declaring this procedure is here, it takes input parameter, whatever you pass, whatever the number you pass as input, you will get into this particular variable here. So I'm going to declare here I want to find out total number of purchase orders. I declared a variable because once I find the total number of POs, first I have to store in the variable. What is the purpose of variable? If you want to store some value. So I'm going to find out. Once we find where do we store, we have to store in some variable. That's why I taken this variable. Then I'm going to start writing the program logic. Begin. Here we have to select the total purchase orders, count star into. So once you count the total number of purchase orders, you want to store it in some variable, right? This variable, from which table you are going to find out this total. So I'm going to find out the table called PO header solve. This is the table which is having this, but I don't want all the purchase orders, right? So right now, if I close this, what happened? It will find out all the purchase orders and it will get into this variable L underscore total. Then I can display this variable value, simple. But I don't want all the purchase orders. User is passing some user ID, only the POs which are associated with this user ID. So I have to filter the data. When you want to filter the data, we have to write where clause created by equal to whatever the input parameter you are passing, that you have to pass. That's it. So this query returns total number of purchase orders created by the current user, means whatever user ID you are passing, that user ID PO total. So it's going to filter and get the data into this. So this information, whatever you have in this variable, that I wanted to display. I wanted to display here dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. This is a standard API we use for display the information. Total purchase orders created equal to pipe symbol variable name. That's all. Exception block, why we write is, I'm running the program. I submitted the program. In the runtime, if I find some error, I wanted to know what exactly error. Okay, when I am compiling the program, if there is any problem, I'll rectify. But after submission, if there is any problem in the runtime, I wanted to track. So we'll write the exception. Any problem comes. When others, any problem comes, I wanted to show the information saying that error occurred during PO count. That's the information I wanted to show. That's it. Close. This is the program. So whenever we are writing PLSQL program, different software languages we have, right? We have Python, we have Java, we have C language, we have C++. Same thing, we have PLSQL. Oracle means combination of SQL and PLSQL. So PLSQL also language. You work for any language. You go to Python, there will be a variables. There will be a variables. You go to Java, there will be a variables. You go to C language, there will be a variables. The purpose of variables is store some value. Okay, then you are trying to display that values here. Depends on the requirement. Okay, so now I'm going to compile this program. I have written the code in the notepad. I'm going to compile. So let's connect to database. Now it's showing me error message, compilation error. What is the error? Show error message. Second line.
Procedure you have.
We
In
have second
procedure you
line.
have capital letter R.
No, it's not a case sensitive.
Okay.
You can use capital or small letters, no problem. So line number 2, there is a problem. Number precision constraints must be in the range of 1 to 38. Whenever you are using the data type number, maximum 38 size is allowed. Means 38 digits allowed. We don't need that much. Oracle will allow max 38. Now procedure created successfully. Okay. Now we have to execute this procedure, right? I developed the procedure successfully. Now we have to execute. So if I want to execute the procedure, I'll go for call it. So what is your procedure name? Total underscore PO. I'm going to pass the user ID, my user ID 1015904. 1015904. Server output. So I'm just going to on the server. Total 2 purchase orders are created. So if you want to, we developed a program and we have saved successfully. I want to execute that program. Just remember the program name. Okay. It is not a case sensitive. You can use capital or small, no problem. Okay. And you have to pass your input parameter. So I'm passing this number. So when I'm passing this number, so based on this, you are able to get total number of POs and you are going to get it here. Yeah. Are you able to understand this? I think I written max calculation here. So if you are able to see this here. Any doubts did you find in this coding? Of course, maybe you are not clear with SQL and PLSQL. Little bit confusion might be there, but if you are able to follow this, obviously we can do that. This is for mainly some people will have some doubt, right? So I may not be able to write the code and all this and all. That's right.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, do we need to pass the value in total PO or the compulsory, or else can we get that through the which we have stored the data in the begin statement, sir? Second one.
Okay.
After completing procedure created, next statement, begin statement.
Oh, this
Yes,
one
yes.
you are
Yes,
talking.
yes.
Yeah, you
Yes,
have to
sir.
execute the program, right?
Ah,
So if you want to execute the program, so we will give the program name. Okay.
oh,
So
ah,
once you give the program name, then you have to pass the input parameter, because when you are developing, you mentioned that you
yes,
have
sir.
to pass input.
Ah,
You have to pass only numbers. Okay. That is input is required. And whatever you are passing, it will be stored here. Based
okay.
on that number only, I'm going to find out.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is dynamic. It is static, guess. I mean, we are only passing that number.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Is it
the
possible?
yeah,
Is it
we can
possible
pass
to?
dynamically.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just I'm writing in the beginning of this program, right? So I need to know the username also. So we are getting that, yes, this user has created 2 POs. Let's say I'm passing another ID. So I'm executing the same program with a different input, 1318. $2,095 purchase orders created by this user. 2098. 95, sorry. 95 purchase order created by 1318 user. Okay. So now my client is asking me, I want to display this user name also here. Right now, okay, you are displaying how many POs are created by the current user. I wanted to show that information. Total POs are created by 2095 by operations user or Paramesh user or Kiran Kumar, whatever the username is there, that I want. I want that username also. If it is user ID, I can display, right? Already I got user ID here, whatever we passed. I want username, right? So I can write another simple query here. So go to your program. Go to your program. Already you are getting the user ID here, right? Input. Input you are getting user ID. I want to find out username, right? So what we'll write? Simple another select statement. Select username into, you can declare one variable for storing the names. There will be three data types mainly. Excuse me. Number, stores only numbers. Varchar2, it stores numbers and characters. Date, it takes the date format. Three data types: number, character, and date. Right. Right now, I am selecting the username into this variable. From which table we will find user details? fnd underscore user, where user ID equal to whatever user ID you received, right? The same parameter value I'm using here, I'm also using here. I'm going to find out. So based on the user ID, whatever you passed, I'm going to find out total number of POs. And also I'm going to find out total username. I would like to display this information. So total POs created equal to total. That's already displaying. Now I wanted to display the username. Username equal to whatever information you wanted to display as it is, we'll put it in single quotation. Then when you want to display the value, variable value, directly pipe symbol and variable. So whatever you mentioned in the single quotation, that will be displayed as it is in the output. Pipe symbol means concatenation total. This is variable value will be displayed. Next, I wanted to show username, which user has submitted this. If you want to give any space, you can provide that. Okay. Now go for compile this procedure again. Procedure is created. Now I want to execute this. Begin. Call your program. 1318. 2095 POs are created by the user called operations. You got username also. Same thing will pass this number. Paramesh user ID, right? Yes. Begin. User ID. Total POs are created by 2. Who is that person? Paramesh. Yeah. So this is how you will go for write the programs. So if you are able to understand this code, then you can do that. Yeah. So many people used to ask me. I used to tell everybody when they come for counseling. In Oracle applications, a lot of openings are there. Just no, sorry, sir, coding I cannot write. Difficult for me. Okay, it's fine. I can understand. But once you attend and try to understand, then you practically you are clear now. So what I can say is, if you are able to understand this code, then yes, you are also one of the programmer, one of the code here, I guess. Okay. So the only thing is you need to do a lot of practice. Okay. And that's why I said yesterday, my class will be 1 hour. If you want to practice that, you need 3 hours. So total daily 4 hours you need to spend for this course. Then you can get easily placement.
So this would be come under the coding.
Yes, technical. This is what actually our course.
Okay.
Writing the queries, writing the programs, PLSQL. So once you are clear with SQL and PLSQL, this query, So we will be explaining you SQL and PLSQL. That's not a problem. As I said, prerequisitions, those all we are going to tell. But I just wanted to execute some sample. At least it may be a little bit confusion, but if you know what is happening here, then it's fine.
So making a multiple time practice, we know that how to put the queries for encoding.
Yeah. That's fine. That's what we have to do.
So how many programs will come across through this 45 hours session, Janira?
No, it's not like a program actually. Whether once we understand the logic here, okay. Once we
Okay.
understand the logic, you can write 1,000 programs also. When you don't
Okay.
understand the logic, what is happening, then we can't write a single program also. So right now, the requirement is take user ID as input and find out total views and also the username and display it. So I'm taking the input here, right? I'm taking the input and I'm going to find the details and I'm going to display it. That's
And you said 40 tables will be required. I mean, 40 tables will be we are covering in
yes,
SQL.
in our train. 2 tables already we covered, right? Next only
Yes.
38 we have.
And from finance modules also we'll be
Yeah,
covering the tables.
finance and supply chain, both modules.
Right? Okay.
Okay, fine guys, go through this video. Again, I'll upload this video in the YouTube immediately. And let's try tomorrow also I'll write one more program. So we'll take another scenario and I'll write the program. So the reason putting this practical oriented demo is once you join in the course, you should not feel that unnecessarily joined because I can't understand. You should not feel that. So you should be clear in the demo itself, whether it's going to see jobs are there, no doubt. Already job is there. There are number of openings. Nobody is there. Last week, Clover Infotech company has conducted one face-to-face interview in Pune. They need 17 members, Oracle Labs technical consultants. 12 members came to the face-to-face interview. They took immediately 12 members. No option. No option. They can't wait because there is a project. Already jobs are there. The only thing is whether you can understand or not, whether you are interested in this technology or not. You go to any course, that is, without understanding what is the meaning of joining in the course, right? It's waste of time as well as waste of money also. So that's the reason I'll write straight away query. This is what actually we have to do. So once you write the program, you have to test it, right? For testing purpose, I'll create multiple records. This is data entry job. Whatever you create user, create supplier, maybe little bit more than data entry. But if you learn 2-3 times how to create purchase order, then definitely it's a data entry. First time, okay, it looks like, okay, something PO is there, PO form, supplier, ship to location, bill to item detail, something new. But when you create 4-5 records, then it's a data entry, right? So that's not a problem. But the thing is, your client is asking some output, is asking some result, is doing some calculations. That we need to go with this here. Okay. Yeah, fine, guys. Let's go for practice on this. Tomorrow we will go for another assignment. Monday onwards, our sessions will be started. Okay. So let's, you can find this video in our YouTube channel. Yesterday also I uploaded. So you can find this is going to be the second demo. It was demo 1. You will see the demo 2. Okay. Just go through this completely today. So tomorrow we'll see the third demo, same time and same meeting ID. Okay. So anybody wants to talk with me before I close the second demo, please.
Sir, will you teach us a wrapper program also?
Wrapper.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It is. I think it is for the some coding script purpose, right?
Yeah, means as I'm working with the S solution, they are having like a API interfaces,
Yeah.
and when they run the concurrent program, they use the wrapper so that the staging table data automatically fetch, and then the API or interface call
It's a
automatically.
simple process. That's it. Theoretically, if we learn, then it will be clear. Not a problem.
Okay, so
Yeah.
will you let me know that one particular thing
Yeah,
after
that
after
will be
API
clear.
or interface in our
Yeah.
sessions?
That is in PLSQL. It's one of the simple topic. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Fine, guys. See you
Sir,
tomorrow.
sir,
Thank
for
you.
technical part, we have to deal in the PLSQL, right?
We have to deal with the SQL and PLSQL. This is SQL query. This is SQL, right? So we are using this SQL in the PLSQL. So in PLSQL, we are going to write the program. Inside of the program, if I want to get data, I have to write SQL, means queries, and get the data.
Okay.
So, hello, sir.
Yes.
The one line number 6. You mentioned create. Can you go to the line number 6, please? On that
Yeah,
notepad plus.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't. I don't know. Okay. So that total PO, then the bracket 1 underscore ID in number and all you mentioned. Those part actually I didn't understand.
It's a fixed syntax. If you want to develop any program, we'll go for create or replace. If the procedure name is already exist, it will replace. If not exist, it will create a new program. So we have to give some program name, right?
Okay.
So you are creating one program. So in the database already there is a program with the same name. What it will do, it will go for replace it. Okay, procedure is nothing but a program. So now you want to pass input parameter. That's why I declared one parameter. Maybe you want to pass 4, 5 parameters. You have to declare 4, 5.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Based on that type, we have to mention in string or
Yeah, in is data type. It's an input. Your program takes input.
if you want to pass name means name in string or varchar.
Yeah. In is one of the reserved word. It is PLSQL reserved word will pass input parameters. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone.